Have you ever fought a battle so private, so silent, that even the people closest to you had no idea you were at war? No witnesses, no applause, no one counting your scars. Just you and the dust and a God who never needed a crowd to know your name. I have walked through fires that left no visible scar. I have fought in the darkness, too broken to go far. No camera recorded the nights on my knees. No witness stood watching as I begged God to please. The arena was empty, the seats cold and bare. My cries hit the ceiling and dissolved in the air. I carried my armor through seasons of pain, through silence and drought and merciless rain. But every scar on my body tells a story untold, of a warrior who fought when the night was too cold, of a man who kept standing when standing made no sense, of a soul who kept praying through the dark and the dense. And through every battle, through every hard night, one truth kept me moving, one truth kept me right. Not my strength that carried me, not my will that set me free, not the armor that I wore into the fight. It was something far greater, something deeper, something straighter, a decision that I made to choose the light. I place my faith in the God who made the stars. I place my faith beyond my wounds and scars. When I had nothing left to give and nothing left to say, I placed my faith and watched Him make a way. Not because I was worthy, not because I was strong, not because I had the answers or had never been wrong, but because the God who holds the universe in place reached down into my darkness and met me with His grace. There is a moment in the arena when the warrior must choose, when the weight of every battle makes him certain he will lose, when the sword feels too heavy and the shield hits the ground, when the silence is so total it becomes its own sound. That moment is the altar where the strongest men are made, not in the victory parade but in the dust where they prayed, because hard times create warriors that comfort never could. The fire that refines you does exactly what it should. Every valley you have walked through was preparing higher ground. Every tear you cried in private was a seed before the crown. So lift your eyes above the arena, lift them past the pain. The God who wrote your story never writes in vain. He sees the gladiator kneeling when no audience remains. He counts the unnamed battles and He calls them by their names. Not my strength that carried me, not my will that set me free, not the armor that I wore into the fight. It was something far greater, fought in arenas no one has seen. I have bled in silence. I have knelt in the dust with nothing left. But the God who made the stars knows my name. He restores my soul, not because I was strong enough, but because in Him I place my faith. Still standing, still fighting, still believing. God's gladiator.